Hello, this is Crypto CJ. Welcome to today's trade of the day. It's the Monday night Zoom edition. And Bitcoin and Ethereum have been a little pokey since Friday. Not much happening, but been a few interesting headlines. Maybe we'll check those out. But first, we'll go to the Bitcoin chart. All right, you guys should be seeing my Bitcoin 4-hour chart.
Yes.
Very good. And so we hit the all-time high on the 20th. Pretty big drop, 10 to 15% down to the 27th. It's been kind of riding this trend line since then. I'm looking here on the 4-hour. I expect this to maybe drop again to test 60-ish and then bounce again. I think 60 might be pretty good support, but again, it did drop down to 58 about a week ago, and then it came back up. So if it's going to drop, I'd say it's between 58 and 60 before it works its way back up again. A little concerned about the lower highs we've had as far as Bitcoin's prices and some lower lows here. We'll have to see how it plays out. It's kind of a fun news item for me, at least. Click the news here. Aaron Rodgers, quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, to receive a portion of his huge salary in Bitcoin. And we're seeing more and more professional athletes do this. I think it's pretty cool. It brings more attention to, to Bitcoin. There was a all-pro lineman last year who did it named Russell Okung, but he's not nearly as famous as Aaron Rodgers. So I read this article. I'm not going to read it all here. Tom Brady wants to do something similar. So I think as we get some of these bigger name athletes and movie stars and people in the news and celebrities taking their payments in Bitcoin and other cryptos, that'll be more exposure for the space, which I think is very exciting. So
what about the Burger King deal?
Yeah, a little less interesting to me than the Aaron Rodgers thing, but well, Craig, you're in Australia, right? Or is it New Zealand?
New Zealand.
Okay, you probably don't know that much about American football, so but you know Burger King, right?
Yeah, but that was news today as well. So
yeah, I saw that. Were they let's see if that's there's an item here.
They're giving away Dogecoin with it.
That's what it was. Yeah, here we go.
Which is
Burger King partners with Robinhood to award customers with Bitcoin, Ether, and Doge. I take Bitcoin and Ether. I don't care about Doge, but if it's free, if I'm teetering on the edge between McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's, I might. Well, then I have to have a Robinhood account. Do I really need another exchange? I mean, I have 4 windows open right now. I'm on 2 derivatives.
Yeah, but for getting new people into the space, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's another cool news item, like the Aaron Rodgers thing and Tom Brady, and if McDonald's and other fast food places follow suit, like Craig says, it's going to be more exposure. So it's all good. All right. Any questions on Bitcoin? Let's check out Ethereum. All right, on the 4-hour chart.
You know that Tom Brady thing?
Oh, what was that, Laura? About
that Tom Brady thing. So my husband comes flying up the stairs and says, "What's the price of Bitcoin?" And I'm like, it's probably 62. This was the day that happened. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "Oh, well," and then he tells me the story about the football and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I thought, damn, he finally got interested. No, he didn't. Okay.
That's funny. But it sometimes takes like something like that for those on the sidelines, your retail investors to get interested. So it's all good. All right, here we are on the Ethereum chart.
No pun intended.
Yeah. All right. Ethereum's just been hanging around between 42 and 44 past couple days. But it is following this trend line that I drew, made a few adjustments to. So all through October, it has been mostly higher highs, mostly higher lows. So, but then I was gonna transfer some crypto this weekend, a small amount, and I swear the fees were even high over the weekend on Ethereum. So I'm really looking forward to someone to challenge Ethereum and for them to have more reasonable gas fees as a practical matter. But if they can keep acquiring fees like that consistently, that's going to bode well for the bottom line and keep their price pushing up. So anyway, I think I've got a small bag of Ethereum, but I think I'd still rather have the cheaper fees. Regardless,
Solana.
yeah, I mean, Solana would be a good option. I've talked a lot in the past about how I like to cash out in Litecoin. I use that
Yep.
quite a bit. I tried to use XTZ a couple of weeks ago and it was more expensive than I thought it would be. So that was a little disappointing, but I haven't tried Solana yet. I was going to, but the exchange I wanted to transfer did not have Solana on it. So that kind of surprised me, but so I did my Litecoin thing, but yeah, Solana could challenge Ethereum. We'll see. But regardless, it's still moving up nicely. It's slow, but steady. So any questions on Ethereum and Bitcoin before we move over to Altcoin Alert? All right, didn't think so. All right, I was on this earlier. We'll go with the AA scores first. I was going to look at XRT, but it's only on Huobi. That's the only exchange it's on, and that one's frowned upon by the gentleman at CryptNation, so we're not going to bother with that one. I have DGB up. It's got a score of 84.1, thumbs up, social and trading. Some neutral and bullish values here. It's down about 4.5% today. Altcoin Alert thinks it's due for, or thinks it has an 84% chance to rise 3% or more in the next 72 hours. Let's look at the chart, see if we can find a good entry point. Let's get the big picture on the day chart. We had the big pump back in April, all the way up to over 18 cents. Big crash. Recovered a little bit, but not even halfway in September. Dropped again. Big spike up yesterday, up to over 7 cents. Now it's back down again to 5.5. This one's been quite volatile. On the 1 hour chart, it's that big spike and another little spike. Not sure if we can rely on these for retracements, but we'll take them into consideration. Now that we've got the big picture, let's go over to the 5-minute chart, see if we can find an entry. It's mostly just squeezy chop. This is some of my least favorite scenarios to look at. If we had something like, we don't really have a good 1, 2, 3 dip example. Got a couple new people here, so I was hoping to see one. Trading one would be ideal, but that's rare that we actually find one during my show. It happens about once every other month. So what do we do in this situation? We're gonna
Yes.
okay, I gotta mute somebody. Okay. All right, so we're gonna have to set an alert to get a good entry point if we want to trade DGB. So our short-term support is mostly trending up. So we got mostly higher lows trending up since early this morning and late last night. So I probably set an alert right around here. with the support area here or the support area here. By support, I'm looking for 4, 5, 6 candle touches, reasonably close to each other. Bryce in CryptNation often says price has memory. So you could set an alert at one or both of these areas, or you could even do, here's another group of candles right about here to try to get a low entry. So if we got it here and it retraced back to where towards the top of the Bollinger Band is now, that's about a 3%, 3% rise, which is about what we're looking for. Sort of the default target off a low buy order we're looking for in Altcoin Alert. Since we're in a bull market, I usually push for a little bit more, often up to 5%, sometimes even 10 if I see really good evidence of a retrace. Not seeing that in this particular coin. If we bought it down here at 5.3 cents, got about 3.5 to 4% up to the top of the Bollinger Band. And if we get it here, 5% or right about 5%. So obviously if we do catch one of these low areas and ride it to the top, the longer we wait to get out, the riskier it is. Could shoot up and then crash down again, and then you're looking at a potential ladder buy. I've talked about that a lot in the show. Ladder buying is buying a second position lower than your first one. The average will improve your exit point. So, all right. Any questions on Digibyte?
CJ, I have one question.
Okay.
I'm a new one to your group, and I thank you very much for allowing me to join it, which is great. Just a question. What sort of percentage of your crypto investment do you allocate to day trading? Obviously, I've got some in a long-term portfolio, mid-term portfolio. So what sort of percentage do you recommend that one might use in a day trading portfolio?
That's a good question. It really depends on what your financial needs are. I have to use some of my income, my trading income, to pay my bills. So, and not all of you, actually most of you are not in that situation. So that's going to have some difference or some bearing on how much you choose to risk. Out of my total crypto holdings, probably over half are in some kind of day trading platform, either an investment like a bot trader, or I have some short-term trades that I do, day trades, and I have some even shorter that I try to get in and out of in a few minutes, with high leverage. So, when I was spot trading and using that to generate an income, I probably had 2/3 of my balance in some sort of day trading. Now it's quite a bit less than that, since most of my day trading is on leverage. I don't teach that on this particular show, but because I want you guys to learn spot trading really well before you take those kind of risks. But I don't know if that answers your question or not, but
no, it does. Can I also ask? I assume that you don't have other. This is your investment in crypto, and your day trading is your full-time profession. Is that correct?
It's mostly correct. Trading takes up probably half my day. I do some marketing of crypto-related, business opportunities as well, and then obviously I do some teaching and counseling with people too. So, yeah, probably 8 to 10 hours a day I'm doing some crypto-oriented thing, but it's not all trading.
Thank you. That certainly helps me.
All right. Thanks for your question. All right. Any other questions on DGB or anything related? All right, let's see what else Altcoin Alert has for us.
Just one question there, CJ. With the you've mentioned that it's progressing with higher lows, and then you've put in those dip targets, to try and pick up a trade. Are we sort of tripping ourselves up there when we're dealing with higher lows?
We could do a trend to trade. We could try to catch some candle action above the SMA line, and and catch that trend going up. So if we were here, if we were having the show, say 4 hours ago, and I saw something like this, I might be more inclined to try to ride this trend. Of course, I might have been wrong because, say we're here at the SMA line, we got about 3 candles. I get in trying to get up maybe 3%. Oh no, it goes up 1.3 and then drops, up, down, up, down. So I'm gonna be in this for a while. Or I might just decide to get out at, 1.5%. If you pile up a lot of 1% and 2%, you can grow your balance pretty quickly. But I wasn't that interested in a trend trade because I'm not seeing, what I like to do is I want to see something in the same screen that can show me it's going to go back to where it was, and I can get, a decent profit out of it. And I wasn't really seeing that here because it was kind of choppy like this. It was rising slightly, but this is kind of squeezy. We want the bubble, the bigger, something like this. This is a bubble. This is what I'm more interested in. If I see a bubble and this kind of action, then I might be more inclined to do a trend trade. Pick up 8 to 10%. That would have been nice. And then a dip trade down here can do the same thing. But when it's squeezy like this, by squeezy, I mean there's not much distance between the Bollinger Bands. We've got 3%. That's not great. That just tells me it's in chop right now. It's, yeah. So that's why I was looking for obviously a low buy order is less risky than trying to catch a choppy trend. So that was my reasoning.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. You're welcome. All right. Anything else on this? That was a good question. Okay, let's go. Look at this one, Gala. Very bullish, 82.6. Normal on trading, thumbs down on social, not that concerned about that. Bearish on the hourly, but neutral on the daily impulse, elder impulse. Neutrals all throughout here for the most part. It's down about 4.5% today. When you see these, blah kind of numbers and then a high AA score, that usually means Altcoin Alert thinks it's going to come back. That faced with these kind of numbers in the past, there's an 82.6% chance that Gala should rise 3% in the next 72 hours. So let's check out Gala.
Quick question, CJ. Where did you find out that it's gonna how did you make an estimate about it's gonna rise up to 3% looking at the AA score?
Okay, I'm not sure, Jahan, are you in Altcoin Alert?
Yes.
Okay, you are in. Okay. That should be their marketing approach. That's my understanding of what the AA scores mean, that you have 72 hours to make 3%. That's
okay.
Unless that's changed recently, but that was my understanding.
Actually, it says 48 hours.
48 hours. I've heard both, 48 and 72. I think it was 48 last year, and then it seemed to grow to 72. Maybe they're just covering themselves a little bit. Let's see. Let's look at. So we'll just look at Binance for Gala. I thought this was on Coinbase Pro, but all right. I think that's Robert. You're breaking up badly. to move on, Robert. You might have to try to get in a little later. All right, Gala was listed on Binance back in September. Had a nice rise and some mostly sideways movement, at least on the day chart since then. On the hour up to 11 cents. And on the 5-minute, get a nice pump up here to 9.7 cents. It's hanging around 9 cents now. Similar to what we just looked at. Kind of just choppy and squeezy here. Rather see something like this. Here's a pretty good, this is like a 1-2 dip. We don't really get the bubble till we get this big drop here. Drop, rises up a little bit, punches through, and then drops again. And sometimes in the bull market, you won't get 3 dips. In that situation, we do the 1-2 dip with the MACD cross, or moving average convergence divergence. The MACD is down here. And when the blue crosses over the orange line, that's a good sign of momentum. So in that situation, you can get in here. SMA lines about almost 3%, and you get out of that in less than 3 hours. That's a pretty good day trade. But we don't have that right now. We got sideways, and it's squeezing in even more. Yeah, not even close to 2%. So if I wanted to trade this, I'd probably set a low, not a low buy order, but an alert in this vicinity. It's almost there now. You know what? I just don't see a trade here, so I don't like it. I'm moving on. And that's going to happen. You're going to look at some of these setups, and there's just going to be nothing there, and really nothing you even want to set an alert for. So, all right. So let's do some other sorts. You can sort by any of these columns. I've been sorting by social activity lately, because this frequently brings up the long-term sentiment and the Elder Impulse Daily. We've got very bullish and bullish. I've never seen this. This is a very bearish AA score of 0. Altcoin Alert saying this has a 0 chance of going up 3% in the next 72 hours because it's already up over 60% today. So that probably has something to do with it. I don't know if this one is, you could short this in derivatives, but maybe. All right, so let's look at Solana. That's one we look at from time to time on the show. It's got a bullish AA score, trading activities normal, social activities fire. I'd like to see 5% or more here on the upper portion of the 1 hour projected range, but we don't quite have that yet. Got neutral, bullish, very bullish, and then bearish on the short-term sentiment. It's down slightly. There's enough positive information here to make it worth a look, I think. So let's check out Solana. It's been hovering around 200 the last couple of days. I traded this, I think, on Thursday or Friday. You had a really big pump here in August. September hit its high, punched through that high again last week, and trying to get back there. And we talked about this as a potential competitor to Ethereum, but there have been a lot of wannabe Ethereum killers out there, but Solana may have better fundamentals than most of those. So, all right, on the 1 hour, could have a retrace back to 217. But that was about a week ago. Don't usually want to go back that far for my retrace targets. I do have this one here from in the wee hours of the morning to 211. That's a little more appealing. Still mostly squeeze. So we had these lower lows here, then a big, not a real big jump, but punched up through the top of the Bollinger Band, SMA line, and just kind of hanging around the SMA line. See a little bit of support here. Yeah, right around 199, 200. That's probably where I'd be looking to get in. You look for a retrace back to, say, the top of the Bollinger Band. Not quite 3%. To this resistance right at 3%. And then you see more resistance here, 3.5, 3.8, 5, 6. So yeah, that's got potential. If you can catch it low down here, you can maybe get 6% going back up to where it was in around 1 a.m. Pacific time. So that's intriguing. So I think I'll get rid of that. Just go ahead and put that alert in there. 199 dip. You just go ahead and name your alert, right click like I just did. It's on 199. So this will let me know if Solana gets down to that price, then I'll reevaluate. Just because it hits that price doesn't mean I'll buy it immediately. I mean, if there's a big red candle crashing down, then I'll probably wait to see when that resolves, but it's a good place to start.
Where will you trade this? What exchange?
I
If you
would,
trade it?
yeah, I would probably, it's a good question.
What's the platform that most of us on this call are on?
I think most people are on Coinbase or KuCoin. Some of the international peeps on Binance. But yeah, if you guys want to throw in the chat what exchanges you're using, that would be helping. That would be helpful to everybody out here.
Solana's
So-
on
My
Coinbase.
point would be if people are on whatever place they're on, the majority, if you could go on that one and walk us through how to set when you go in, you would set your buy and then you set your sell at the same time, correct?
Yeah, well, after
Okay.
it fills, but
Okay, after it fills. Is there a way to do it before it fills?
I don't know if you can do that on spot trading. You can on leverage, but yeah, I don't know if you can put a buy order in and then a sell order when your buy order hasn't filled yet.
Okay. Okay, then my next question would be, somehow I would like to see a real stop loss shown. And I think we talked about that and we were going to when we didn't have, when people were ready for it.
Okay,
I'm ready for it. I don't
You're
know
ready
whether
for it?
anybody else is. Put in the chat if you're ready to learn about stop losses, because this will go back to the 217.
yeah, yeah, I don't usually put actual exchange information on the show because I have
Oh, is
mixed
that
feelings about showing, because I have to
Okay.
show how much money I have in there, and it may be too much or too little depending on what you think I should have. So anyway, I have done a couple of videos on those kind of things before. I'm using Coinbase Pro more now. I'm off Binance
Okay.
entirely. So, but a lot of my charts obviously still have, are done on Binance because that's what I used for so long. So I don't
Okay,
wanna
okay, I
throw that out,
understand.
but that's
I
my reasoning.
understand. Okay.
Yeah,
It's a security issue too. I wouldn't want that, so.
well, it's unlikely anyone could steal my, unless they want to send me money. I won't object to that, but
Yeah,
I
there
don't know if they
you
can
go.
take money from me that way, but I don't know, who knows? I don't know everything there is about such things. So
Did that candle just drop down?
yeah, it just creamed my,
Oh, that's awesome. All right. And we're on 5 minute, one more down and I'm exiting so I can go make a trade. Okay, kiddo.
Okay.
I'll be back though.
Trading's the priority. You'll never have a problem for me if you check out to go ahead and make a trade and
Make
come
a
back.
trade.
Yeah, I even do that from time to time on the show, but not necessarily to show everybody. All right, so Solana, any other questions on that? Okay, let's do one more on Altcoin Alert, one more sort. And let's do an Elder Impulse daily. This is a combination of trend-based, momentum-based indicators. Bryce on CryptNation uses this all the time, and so they've added that to Altcoin Alert as one of the sorts a couple months ago. That was kind of cool. So it's just bullish, bearish, and neutral. So right now we've got bullish on Ethereum. We just looked at that already. We've looked at Solana. We could look at Polkadot. When I do a sort that's not an AA sort, I usually want neutral or better on the AA score, and neutral or better on the other, on the other columns as well. And this one looks pretty good here in Polkadot. Got neutral on short term. It's up 13%. It's a little higher than I would like for a new position, but not a deal breaker. So let's go ahead and look at DOT. Plus DOT is a good project. It's got some news. I think this is well, price discovery mode. Wow, it's over $50. I haven't traded this in a while. Yeah, this is my all-time high. And it's blown past that. So on the day chart, yeah, it hit the all-time high in May, big drop, it's come back entirely. So that's pretty cool. On the 1 hour, I know there's something significant happening with DOT. I can't remember what it is. When you guys could.
Oh, come on. It's Parachain's coming. The first
Parachain,
auction
that's
on
it.
November 11th.
November 11th. I remember the date actually, but I couldn't remember the thing. Thanks, Brooklyn.
It's not just DOT. They got a lot of metaverse. They got a lot of other stuff going on this month. Big month.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is the buy the rumor, sell the news thing. So this will pump up and for a couple days and then crash when, when it actually goes online on the 11th. All right.
I remember what it was. I put in the chat this morning. There was like 3 different things that are happening. I can't think about them right now, but
okay.
DOT is one of the big things. So we'll talk about it more in a little bit.
Yeah. All right, but what do we do with this now? So it's trending down now. Is Bitcoin losing some value? Yeah, Bitcoin had a big drop here, a couple $100. So whenever you see a coin with a trend down, check Bitcoin. You should check Bitcoin before just about every trade anyway. So. All right, on DOT on the 5 minute, it's the Bollinger Bands are squeezy like most of the ones we've seen. 4% is a little bit better than the 2s and 3s we were seeing before. Not seeing a really good entry here. Probably put an alert down around here between say 42 and 45. Try to catch it down here. But my concern with this is with the news happening, it may not come back for a while. If it's going through the sell the news portion a week ahead of time, then it might drop down into the 30s and hang around there for a while until it comes back. But I like DOT as a long term. But as a day trade, I'm just not seeing, nothing's jumping out at me right now as something I'd feel comfortable with. So So again, you might want to set your alerts and reevaluate. And we were talking about different types of orders. Frank has put a link to Coinbase Pro in here for some guidance on how to do some of their orders. So thank you, Frank. That's pretty cool. All right, any questions on DOT? Then, even though I was not helpful on this, it's just a slow and steady rise, but we had this news. It's going to happen now. It's dropping. I don't know what to do with this.
Just a little insight on DOT for everybody. Everybody's been waiting since it's been so stagnant for a long time. I can see like a lot of orders being triggered like at 55. It just passed all-time high a little while ago. Orders being triggered at 60. I think even a lot got triggered at 50 something. So, something to watch out for.
Are they the ones that are having auctions once a week for the next 3-4 weeks?
Yeah, parachain auctions.
Yeah. Okay.
Not exactly sure how that works, but to use that platform, you don't just send them an email and plug in. So you got to pay them for it. So it's my understanding. Very simplistic, but yeah, it's had a nice recovery since July, but I'm not sure where it's going to go from here. You could do a different kind of alert. You could set an alert up here and say, if it breaks through this high at 51.25, with the strong candle action on the 1 hour chart, that might be a trend trade you can do. I don't usually do that kind of thing in my day trading, but that would be more of a swing trade, I think. So, okay, wow, we're like 40 minutes into this and we haven't even gone to iCoinPro yet. So any other questions on Altcoin Alert before we move over to iCoinPro? All right. On iCoinPro, I have just Coinbase stuff here now. I was looking at this earlier. I looked at it this morning, and there's 2 columns I like to use this platform to find trades. This one is the RSI SPY. This will tell me RSI values of 70 or more, usually considered overbought, and when they're 30 or lower, they're oversold. And there's nothing even close to 30, so there's very little there's nothing oversold, at least on Coinbase. Overbought, we've got a few Bitcoin pairs, and actually a link was on here this morning, so I put in a small short on that, which isn't doing that well. Oh, it is now because it dropped. Oh wow, it took me out. Cool. All right. So that worked out. But usually if you're seeing values 30 or below down here, these are good signs of dip trades. So if you get a 30 or below on the hour, then there's probably a good chance that you're going to find a dip trade on the 5-minute chart. Okay, the other one I like to use is the Buddy Coin Crawler. You've got a lot of good values here. I sort the average low to the SMA line. The low is a 24-hour low of the token. The SMA is that pink line you see on my charts between the Bollinger Bands. Mana has 12% between the low and the SMA line. That's really good. That coin is moving. Could be moving down. Let's check it out. Well, actually, on iCoinPro, you can click this drop-down menu and get a trading view chart. Yeah, so it comes up Mana. And the 24-hour low, why that value is so large, because it's going from about where it was here around midnight, up to here. Well, actually the SMA line would be, yeah, right around here. I'm not sure exactly what portion of the SMA line it chooses. Regardless, there's been some big movement in this this coin today. Let's get the big picture. Wow. Big pump last couple days. Is there news about this? Nothing's jumping out at me.
What, you're talking about Mana?
Yeah.
Oh, they're the Zillow of the metaverse. They got the real estate all in the metaverse. So we think people were buying and like renting a lot of land inside this area, and that's why it was, you know, going up so much.
So is it like an NFT with real estate or what?
I'm not sure if it's an NFT. I don't think so. It's definitely a metaverse. If you go into CoinGecko and then you look into the categories and you look at metaverse, Axie is number 1, but it's number 25 in, you know, the countdown, and
Yeah.
Mana is 50. And then you got Enja, you got Sand, UFO, and all these other ones. But these are the 3 like major ones.
Interesting.
I actually had to do some research and figure out what the heck the metaverse was. And then I talked to my 10-year-old grandson who told me all about it. So then it was a matter of looking into, like Brooklyn just said, engine, and I don't remember which ones, but there was some bigger ones to play, and this might have been one of them.
Okay,
So
by
if you notice,
metaverse,
these are the ones that have been going on. These are the ones that have been going off, you know,
You
little
mean-
by little. Sand went off this morning, Engine's going off now. I just read in the chat, somebody said.
do you mean are these gaming tokens?
They're like a mix. They're not like straight gaming tokens, but they are, you know, they have something to do with each one, because if you look into the Geico, and then you can plug in here gaming as well, and they have a whole nother different coins. Let me see. Yeah, look, you have that, and then you have the gaming, and that's the same ones, but actually Axie's number 1, Engine's number 2, Sand's number 3, and Mana doesn't even show up on here for gaming tokens.
Yeah, I know
Nope.
Axie and Sandbox
Doesn't
have
show up
links
on
to
here.
gaming, so you know people get paid in those tokens. You know, as day traders using the 5-minute chart, it is somewhat helpful to have this kind of information. It's not entirely necessary because we mostly trade the charts, but if we have a news item ahead of time, especially something on, say, on Altcoin Alert and the significant development or SIG devs, it can be helpful to know this. I'm almost entirely a pure day trader, which is why, to be candid, I'm not up on news as, say, people who swing trade and hodl. You know, so I would actually defer to Brooklyn and Alan and Terry and some of the others in the CryptNation group on this subject. And I'll tell you, in iCoinPro, they don't care at all about news. All they care about is the charts. So
Nope.
it's an interesting approach. I'm sort of in the middle on that issue. But all right, back to Mana. On the day, we see the big pump. On the hour, probably something similar. Yeah, can we retrace back to 495? We're at 319 now, maybe. All right, there's that. It's 349 recently, 5 a.m. So if this pumped again, you know, you might be able to catch it to a retrace back to 6.5%. That's pretty good. If I'm going to do a trend trade, though, I want to get closer to 10% because I think it's way riskier. And there's a probably, you know, 50% chance I'm going to have to make another purchase. So if it drops, so, you know, if it just goes up here and then, you know, you can really, next thing I know, I'm buying down here with losses of maybe 15 or 20%. It's not the end of the world. I've come back from these kind of things many times, but I prefer in situations like this to catch the low. And we've got short-term support here. you know, around 270. Some more here. At about 291. This would be my preference to get in, to maybe buy around here and get back to, you know, the support area or the SMA line, which will change if it drops this much, but you know, that'd be 10%. So this is intriguing if you can catch it low. I've tried to catch the trend and it is moving up now. It's a bit riskier, but it's up to you as a trader to determine your risk tolerance. So, all right, I will look at maybe one more on iCoinPro. Usually looking for volume of 10 million or more on the 24-hour USD volume. Some of these I'm just not that familiar with. ASM, don't know it. Brain Trust, I've heard of some of these. The volume's too low anyway. Wrapped Centrifuge, I've traded Centrifuge on KuCoin. Shiba Inu, sure, why not? 1.2 billion. Looking for a good short on this. Just sideways chop, nothing fun here. Yeah, the listing on Coinbase in September. Giant pump, almost down to nothing, but working its way back. Hit that all-time high, dropping again. Got as high as, I don't even know what to call this. There's so many zeros in front of this. We'll just use the last 4 digits, 8740. And now it's at 7020. We're squeezy again. That's a 1-hour chart. Let's go to the 5. Yeah, only 2.5% between the Bollinger Bands. It's not great. I want these bubbles. This is what I want. Either a trend punching up or a dip sequence, preferably a dip sequence, but I will occasionally take a chance on something like this. Yeah, that would have been a good chance, 8.5%. Probably would not have held it that long. And we've got short, actually sitting on short-term support right now. But there's not much upside to this. If you bought it here at the support, you know, it's only 4.8% on. And, you know, I want to feel more certain when I trade it's essentially a poop coin, because I don't want to hold this. If I trade, you know, Solana or DOT or something like that, it goes against me. I feel, you know, if it really goes against me, like loses 30-40% of its value, and I really dislike stop losses. I've talked about that many times. I prefer ladder buys, and you know, at some point I'll usually just pull it off the exchange and stake it somewhere for a while if it's a project I really like. So with that in mind, you know, I don't know if I want to trade SHIB down here. Now we do have some more support, short-term support here. 688. I could catch it down here and have it get back to the SMA line. It's about 3%. It's your call. I don't care for it, but I know a lot of people like this coin, like trading it. So take a quick look at the chat. All right. Cheryl's asking for BTG. Is that a coin or is that
No.
an
No,
acronym of some coin?
I was just complimenting Brooklyn.
Okay. Brooklyn T guy.
That's
All right,
Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Gold.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
trying to remember, what is that? Okay. Had to look at the context. All right, guys, we're at 50 minutes. So I'm going to throw this open to any questions you guys have on Altcoin Alert or iCoinPro or any kind of, I'm limited to day trading though, because I've got to wrap this up and then hang around for some other stuff. So,
Yeah, I got a quick question.
okay.
You said you live off your trading. How do you have do you like withdraw to your bank account, or do you have a wallet card, or how do you get your funds out to use?
Yeah, it's a good question. I should probably do a video on this. What I like to do is, let's say the most recent example would be on Bybit, where I do some of my leverage trading. I'll take my USDT, or is it USD on Bybit? It's USDT. I'll take my USDT and I'll buy Litecoin. Then I'll send the Litecoin to Coinbase Pro. I'll sell the Litecoin into USD. Then I can send the USD to Coinbase, and then that's connected to my bank account. And then I usually get my cash in 2 or 3 business days. So that's how I do it. Per some other suggestions, and Lawrence might try to do that with Solana, but had a hiccup with that last time I tried it. So, but Litecoin's been consistently good. The fees are less than $1. So it's not as fast as some of the others. Can take half an hour to an hour, and if you get a Litecoin dump, then that's a bummer. So that's sort of the risk. But I don't want to send USDT. It's an ERC20 token. Ethereum, so now you're subject to those fees, and that's no fun. So.
Excuse me, you were saying you send Litecoin to cash out and to go into bank accounts?
Well, Litecoin, I sell that on the Coinbase Pro exchange into USD, and then I have USD I can cash out.
What they share about a lot in this is Massimo's thing. I won't take credit for this. XLM is like some pennies to send to exchange for everything. Just an example.
That's a good idea.
I was moving USDT, but they wanted something stupid like $20 to move it out from one place to another. I bought XLM as soon as I could, and XLM is good because it doesn't really drop that much. It kind of stays stagnant. So I bought XLM. I sent XLM, cost nothing, and then right then and there I bought USDT, or I sold it into the pairing USDT in the other exchange, and then I used that as the money. Like if I were just transferring. That's a real crypto trafficker.
Yeah, I like it. That's something I've been meaning to try out and forgot about. I just made a note of it. So, maybe someone asks me this in a month from now, I'll have a different answer, but that's a good idea. All right, on the chat, Louise is saying she's surprised that when we have a scan through, there are not obvious trades to take. Yeah, that's normal. It's rare in my research. I do it every morning when I get up that I find a trade immediately, and that happens maybe 10% of the time for me, because I'm looking for the right trade. I want to get in where I want to get in. So that's why we use alerts. That's why we do the technical analysis, check the news, look at Bitcoin. It's a process. I have done a video in the past about my process. If you want to look it up, do Crypto CJ day in the life of a trader. And there's 14 or 15 things I often do. And, you can incorporate some of those or not. That's okay. We all have, our goals and what we like to do and how we get ready. So, all right, time for one more question. All right.